The fated connection, Lewis. Life was going on as usual, birds singing, sun shining, nothing out of the ordinary. But then, things took a turn that I never saw coming. I started feeling like someone was following me, a constant shadow in the background. The days rolled by, and this eerie feeling intensified. Every step I took, every corner I turned, I couldn't shake off the sensation that something, lurked just a breath away, always a few steps behind, like a silent ghost in my personal space. It messed with my head, made me question my own sanity. Nighttime became the worst. I heard footsteps in the dark, and see shadows that didn't belong. Was I hallucinating? I tried telling my friends, but they shrugged it off, saying it was just stress and my imagination. The police didn't take it seriously without any evidence. So, there I was, alone with this silent stalker, a feeling of being watched that I couldn't shake. Desperate, I set up security cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of this mystery stalker. Night after night, I'd watch the footage, hoping to see who was turning my life into a twisted puzzle. And then, the plot twisted in a way I never expected. As I reviewed the footage, I saw a figure that froze my blood. It was none other than me. The stalker, the one who had invaded my life, looked exactly like me. I thought it was a glitch, a mistake, but the evidence was staring me in the face. I was being hunted by my own reflection. The world turned upside down. How could I be stalking myself? Was it a sick joke my mind was playing on me? Was I really hallucinating? So, there I was, face to face with my doppelganger, ready to unravel the mystery that had turned my life into a crazy puzzle. I looked them in the eyes, demanding answers. But you know what? They just stayed silent, like a stone wall, reflecting my confusion and fear right back at me. It felt like a mind game, a real psychological showdown. Imagine staring into a mirror, expecting some answers, but all you get is your own reflection staring back, with emptiness. It was like a battle inside my own head, a crazy fight where the enemy was basically myself. The air got thick with tension, and every second felt like a ticking time bomb, waiting for someone to spill the beans. But nope, just eerie silence hanging in the air. Just then they disappeared into the shadows, just like that. So, when I went digging for the truth, I stumbled upon a family secret that rocked my world. Turns out, I had an identical twin, long lost and separated from me since birth. Now, you'd think a reunion with a twin would be a happy thing, right? Not in my case. This twin of mine had some seriously shady plans. They weren't here for a heartwarming family reunion. They wanted to do a total takeover of my life. I'm talking about stepping into my shoes and trying to erase me from existence, like I was some kind of unwanted draft on their life story. Crazy, right? Life started going downhill real quick. My evil twin decided to play copycat, mimicking every single thing I did like some kind of twisted game. Picture looking into a mirror, but instead of seeing yourself, you see a version tainted with pure nastiness. It sent shivers down my spine, let me tell you. Suddenly, it wasn't just about weird coincidences anymore. It became this intense mind game, like a battle for my very existence. We were at war, but not with fists, it was all in our heads. Every move, every thought, felt like a piece in this crazy chess game where the stakes were way higher than I could even wrap my head around. I was just a pawn in this psychological battlefield, and let me tell you, it was way more terrifying than any physical fight. I couldn't take this anymore. I confronted them again and they punched me. I didn't hold back. I gave them the strongest blow I could. Punches flying, words exchanged like artillery. It wasn't just about who could throw a better punch, it was a full-on war for who we really were deep down. In the middle of all the chaos, I caught a glimpse of something twisted in my twins' eyes: satisfaction. It was like they were getting a kick out of the whole thing, reveling in the chance to wipe me off the map. This fight wasn't just physical, it was a full-on soul showdown, a battle to decide who would come out on top. It felt like the stakes were higher than ever, and the room echoed with the sound of a fight that went beyond just fists and kicks. Summoning up every ounce of determination, I fought back. It was punch after punch, move after move, a real showdown to prove I wasn't about to let the darkness win. The room turned into a battlefield, a crazy canvas painted with our struggle. When it all boiled down to those last moments, I somehow managed to come out on top. I'd overpowered my evil twin, their whole nasty plan crumbled to bits. I stood there, yeah, victorious, but not without my fair share of scars. The police got involved, investigations took place, it was all so messy. As the dust settled, I faced the reality of the twisted relationship with my twin. The battle was won, but the scars ran deep. I couldn't erase the fact that the person who had tried to take over my life looked exactly like me. The kidnapper, Rin. I want to share a story that happened to me not too long ago. It was a regular evening, and I was walking home alone after a late shift at work. The streets were quiet, and the only sound was the echo of my footsteps on the pavement. As I neared my apartment building, I felt this uneasy sensation, like someone was watching me. I brushed it off, thinking it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But the feeling persisted, and I quickened my pace. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me, and my heart started to race. I turned around, but there was no one in sight. I convinced myself it was paranoia, but the footsteps continued, growing closer and more menacing. Panicked, and I broke into a run, as fast as I could. Before I could reach the safety of my apartment, I saw a figure emerging from the darkness, grabbing me forcefully. A cloth covered my nose and mouth, and everything went pitch black. When I regained consciousness, I found myself in a dimly lit room, tied to a chair. My mouth was covered with tape. I looked at the kidnapper in fear. He had his face covered in a black mask. After noticing that I was awake, he spoke in a chilling voice about his obsession with me, recounting details of my life that no stranger should know. As minutes turned into hours, the situation became increasingly dire. The kidnapper seemed unhinged, and I feared for my life. He mockingly asked if I needed food. I nodded in fear. He went somewhere after that. I thought of escaping, and I struggled against the restraints. I remember learning survival skills at school, and I somehow managed to loosen the ropes just enough to free myself. With stealth and desperation, I crept through the shadows, avoiding any sound that might betray my escape. Thankfully, I didn't encounter the kidnapper. I reached the door and slipped away into the night. I ran as fast as my trembling legs could carry me, not stopping until I reached the safety of a nearby store. Terrified and traumatized, I called the police and shared my horrifying ordeal. The experience changed me forever, leaving scars that go beyond the physical. I still have the fear of being watched and pursued. It is a haunting reminder of the night I narrowly escaped a fate that could have been far worse. If you found any enjoyment in the video, I implore you to click that like button and subscribe if you dare.